Right, we are live, and I'm with Tom Kingdon. How are you doing, mate?
Hello.
We
Good. How are you? Good.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. It's been a nice day in the sun. How about it? It's warm down there, isn't it?
It is very warm. I don't know the temperature, but it's just hit quickly, hasn't it? So
yeah. Whereabouts in the country are you? For those that aren't familiar with you,
Southampton area. So
mate.
almost like centre south, almost.
Yeah, to me that sounds like it's going to have like a really nice coast and be just beautiful in this weather.
I say Cornwall's better, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
But sure, it's
So-
nice down here.
So we've got you on to talk about the semi-finals. We've got obviously the workouts got announced, and you're starting your bid to qualify for the games tomorrow. So
Yes,
before we
sir.
go into the workouts, what was your thinking around just doing the in affiliate semis? Because obviously you could have attempted to go to a few of the others, but what was the thinking?
More just money, I think. After Wadapalooza, it was kind of like then I was like, I just don't want to spend money. And like there was a lot of money that went out of it, so I didn't really want to compete. Like I didn't really want to go somewhere else, do that. Plus, um, the qualifiers were like almost directly after Wadapalooza, so it's almost like you do Wadapalooza and then you're then back in unless you get an invite if you're lucky, if you're really good and they really like you.
So
yeah.
Any regrets on that now that you've seen the workouts and the athlete lists at the other places?
Yeah, for sure. I think like it'd been cool to do the Woodland Fest and even French Throwdown. I think both would have been really cool competitions. It's cool that Mayhem Athlete are doing them as well. So it's almost like you've kind of got a cross comparison between events as well. Like I'm pretty sure everyone's done the assault bike bar muscle up one, and now they're doing heavy Isabel. And it's cool that every semi-finals is doing that. And it's cool that CrossFit kind of caught into it as well. And they were like, yeah, we'll do it as well. Kind of just keeps it all connected and quite fun. And there's like, it's cool for a comparison between like who's, the best at cycling heavy barber.
Yeah, but it's cool that you touched on that one, mate, about CrossFit, because like recently they seem to be getting it right, and I feel like a couple of years ago they wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have lent into the fact that everyone were doing it.
No, they would have been like, this is our own thing. And you can definitely see that there's like, I mean, you see it with all the YouTubers, like, well, not YouTubers, but like the guys that you see, and like you're starting to notice when they point it out. I mean, I don't really notice it until they point it out, and then you're like, oh, actually, yeah, there is a change here that's going on, and you can see that they're trying. And like even this kind of qualifying model that they're currently testing. I mean, on hindsight, it looks bad, that we haven't got an actual semi-finals, because let's be honest, like the semi-finals that are happening in person, they're sanctionals kind of thing. Like they are semi-finals, but at the same time, like they're their own qualifiers. Like they're not kind of run by CrossFit. They are CrossFit, and they are CrossFit affiliated, but like CrossFit don't have a say. So that like there's not everyone's doing the same thing type of thing. So it didn't really make it too special in my opinion. So that's what I was a bit upset about. But like when you kind of look into it, and like when everyone starts talking about it, and you go, actually they're doing it for a purpose of like it's a money issue, I think, and they're trying to find a way where they're not losing money, so then they can keep doing this every year. And I think this is probably one model that might be the best way forwards.
Yeah, and I think, like you said at the start, like on paper, when it got announced, it didn't look that exciting. But then I think, kicking off with Mayhem, which were amazing, it was always going to be
so good.
And then the workouts are sick, and everyone knows really moaned about the workouts, and so I think it could work. I just think that some of those, I don't know, some of those in-person events, I'm not going to call them semi-finals because I don't think they are. Because
I agree.
When you open them up, I liked Mayhem because it was like sort of condensed into some really high caliber athletes that could make it. But when you go to maybe Wadland Fest, for example, when you put that many athletes in, and some can come in that are specialists that could middle people, it's a bit bizarre with that many athletes, isn't it? So yeah, there's probably somewhere in between what's happening now.
I think it's good. Like with Wadland, I think it was good because it opened up a lot to athletes on the lower end of the scale, that might have not qualified for semi-finals last year, but it gives them an opportunity to compete against these guys where, let's be honest, these guys wouldn't compete really outside of the CrossFit competition season, like maybe Wodapalooza, Rogue. But again, it's very high-end caliber type of competitions themselves. So to get there, you have to be pretty good. So it was quite nice that these people now that are a little bit, I wouldn't say lower because everyone's still pretty good. You have to be good to qualify for the elite. They get that opportunity as well. So it's cool. And, more participation, it looks better. But for sure, I think it was cool.
So one question before we go on to the workouts: what do you reckon to the rumors that Rich might actually be doing the workouts and going to end up on the leaderboard? Because I know he's your hero, isn't he?
Oh, dude, I love him. I was watching his podcast, and he was like, when they said the back squat weight, he was like, I can't squat that. So I was like, no. But yeah, it'd be cool to see him do it. I hope he does. But yeah, we'll see. I guess
That'd be amazing, mate.
He did say that he qualified. He entered, didn't he?
Yeah, he signed up. I saw the email invitation. So
yeah, so there we go.
It's not a load of squatting, is it? It's just.
I mean, it depends. If you get to the round of, if you get through the round of 6, you're kind of doing. Say Charlie. Round of 6,
mate.
You're kind of doing about 60 odd.
I'll let you address Charlie if you want.
I just got distracted by it. That's all. I have actually competed against him.
Have you?
Yeah, I have at the functional fitness, and I was a bit surprised by his performance.
Oh, you was? Because where did he place at Worlds for IF3?
20th.
20th in the individual competition. What, you came second in?
Yeah.
Well, you should have just done that, mate, and then you could have got a pass to Mayhem.
Dude, I know, right? I looked on the going back to that December when that happened. Morning Chalk Up put out a little who to watch, and I was like, okay, I'll watch. I was like, I don't really know many people who are here, and his name came up, and I was like, oh. And they were like, yeah, he finished above Jeffrey Adler in the Open. I was like, oh shit, okay, he's pretty good then. And then didn't see him do quarterfinals, or he did do quarterfinals, but didn't qualify. And I was like, oh, that's a bit sus. Well, not sus. I was like, oh, ill maybe. I don't know. And then, I bet to him, I bet it looked weird because I was kind of staring at him the whole time. I was like, you look good. You look good. So I kept staring at him, and you could see that he was catching I would catch his eye, and then I'd look at him, and he'd look at me, and I'd be like,
You probably thought you wanted to date him, mate.
Probably, yeah. I need to stop doing that.
But like, I think
giving people the wrong impression.
The weird thing about him
Yeah.
for me was, I get like, you know, some people cheat, they just want to see the name up there in lights, but then to actually turn up at Mayhem, have the balls to turn up.
I know, you just go like, and then just do it, and then be like, oh yeah, you know, it was so weird. I was like, do you just? It's like, is it almost like he's literally taking fake it till you make it to a whole new level? You know what I mean? It's like, I'll be there, maybe I'll do well, and I was just. I'm just so confused by it. Actually, have you Savan put out the behind the scenes there and like today, so I watched that and he was just chatting away. It was so weird. I also thought he'd have like a really high pitched voice, but no, it's like it's American, you know. That's all I can say about it.
Well, if
like,
he's
yeah,
at IF,
I can't even
if he's
American
at
accent,
IF3 this year, mate, I'll tell him you said hello because you're not competing this year, are you?
oh yeah, for sure. I am. Hopefully, I've got to even qualify for that. So.
Oh, have you? Are you still thinking about doing it then? I didn't think you were going to go.
Yeah, I was going to do it.
Cool.
I spoke to Mark and he was like, please do it. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do it.
I think, mate,
I don't have anything that time of year, so.
Yeah, and it's unfinished business because you were fucking that close, man, weren't you?
I know. I don't know how I feel about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, people say you deserved it, and then there's also them saying there was a cock up in the scoring. So I'm kind of like, who do I go off? You know, I had a guy who messaged me and he like slow-mode the video when Colin came across the line, and then me, like, well, I was across the line, right? But like Colin came across the line, and like he was like, yeah, this guy came across. I was like, I don't know who these people are, so I can't just go, I can't show him this video and go, yeah, look at this. So I was like, oh, bro, don't worry about it. You know, like it's done, it's final. But it was so weird because they started interviewing me and all that. Be like, how does it feel to be, you know, first? And I was like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. I was fourth or third before, you know. Like, I wasn't expecting to climb 2 places to do it. It was weird. And then, like, obviously, they just scrap the whole thing. And then I get heard it's Colin. And everyone's like, yeah, he came second. I was like, oh. I mean, it's better than third. But I'm pretty good for getting second, aren't I? So.
Yeah, good way to look at it, I suppose, mate.
Yeah.
And everyone said you handled that really well that were there. They were very impressed because some people would have lost their shit in that situation.
For sure. But like I was already in a worse position. You know, like going into that day, I was in fourth. And I had a pretty shit day the day before, performance wise. So to come out of that, like I remember moping all the whole day, like the whole evening on Saturday. I missed my hang snatch. I was like, I'm so shit. I was like, fuck this. I was like, I've got to do Wallapalooza on the back end of this. How's this going to give me confidence going into it? Yeah, it was just, it really, really pissed me off. And then I was like, well, handstand walks are coming up. I'm good at them. So I suppose I can rely on that. But yeah, I think I was just happy to finish second instead of third.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of settling for third before that event, but these guys were some freaking idiots and decided to go, you know, down to 10 on it. You're like, why would you go down to? Yeah, you know, it's like your legs are already fucked, bro. Like you just want to, like, you want to spin that shit out, you know, just rev it. But yeah.
Cool. Right, so let's get on to the business then, mate. So we're on.
Yeah, let's do it.
We start tomorrow, and we've got. Hang on. Well, let's go back a bit. So when the workouts get announced, what are your first thoughts overall as a test?
I thought they were pretty good. I think they cover everything. Like as much as you could do in an affiliate, you know. I mean, I wasn't too sure if they were gonna ask for an echo bike or something like that. I was kind of prepared for it. Like, you know, you can't like not think about that. Bear in mind that Rogue kind of asked for it, and all that. So it was kind of, we weren't too sure if they would. So we were kind of thinking it might be. But I think for overall, I think they're pretty good tests. There's nothing that's like, well, there is, but they're almost like everyone can do these. It's just like, how good are you at doing them? You know, who's like the fastest, which is cool.
Yeah.
It just comes down to like, you just got to be fucking fit. It's really good. So I think it's cool.
So when we look at them, then which one stands out as the one that you like really buzzing about, that you think you're gonna excel at?
Probably the GHD overhead one.
Right.
Although I've had some beef with someone about that. So, but yeah, no. I think that GHD overhead walking line is just gonna be like my favorite. Like I think it's gonna be good. Although I was doing some intervals of it on Tuesday, and I didn't realize I did like 120 GHDs. So I've done more. Like my core is not in a great place going into it. So, but I did it, and I was like, shit, I've just done too many GHDs. So yeah, midlines primed. Let's just say that for it. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the best one. I think it's just quite a cool challenge. At first, I thought it was like one dumbbell, and I was like, oh, that's not too bad. And then it said dumbbells. I was like, oh, okay. But like the whole like they're so big, right? These dumbbells that like they're gonna touch.
So for context, they're 232.5 kg dumbbells, aren't they?
Yeah. Like
and they have to be completely overhead.
Completely overhead. Can't like accidental touching is allowed, whatever that means.
Mate,
like,
I've had some trouble.
Like,
I've had some trouble with accidental touching in past. It does not get you out of jail, mate. I'm telling you now.
There we go.
It's no excuse.
So, there's no excuse. But like it's just it's gonna be a weird one. But like the cool thing is, I'm kind of putting my trust in, because we're going to go to Wessex for that. So I'm kind of putting my trust in, that's CrossFit Wessex, I say. A guy called Lefty who actually went to Mayhem and was one of like the qualified judges for it.
Oh, quality.
He was like, oh, can I do some judging? And we were like, yeah, sure, mate. You know, so that's awesome.
I hope we were one of them from Mayhem that actually had the credentials then.
I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure he is. So that's good.
So that's the workout that we like to look at. And for context, for anyone listening that doesn't know, it's 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 of double dumbbell overhead walking lunges with 232 kg dumbbells and GHD sit-ups. So that's the one that stood out as your fave. What about the one that you stood out and went, oh, fuck?
It's got to be that shot run one. That one is going to be so shit.
Like, and that is, which one's that? What's the full workout on that one?
Well, it's 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. 10 shuttle runs at 50 foot, so 25 foot there, 25 foot back. 10 clean and jerks at 61 kilos, and the remaining time, max lateral burpees over the bar. So, yeah.
Have you done any testing intervals on that?
I have. I've done 3 rounds of it, and like kind of the consensus is it's about 30 seconds of work on the burpees.
So what do we expect people to be getting at the top end on that then? 15, you reckon? 15.
I think 15 is going to be like it'll be done. I don't know if it'll be done for all rounds. I don't know. Just because I think like the power output and the rest, it's so hard to sustain it. But it's almost like, but then could you use your first round as like a buffer, right? And then as you kind of drop, because it's kind of round 3 and 4, like round 1 and 2 are going to kind of be very similar in pacing and how you kind of do. Round 3 is going to be where it starts to get shit. Round 4 is where it's really shit, and then round 5 is, you just kind of, it's the last round, 2 minutes, and you're done.
Well, where's the efficiency in that workout then? Is it really just all go? Because I always think with shuttle runs, you can push harder on shut ones, but you don't really get much further. Is it more in the barbell?
It's like, it's not really worth it with the shuttle runs. I in my opinion, like you have to be fast at them, but like pushing them, I don't think is worth it. Some people are saying, like some people doing single, like some people are saying they're going to do singles on clean jerks. I'm kind of swaying towards touch and go. So I feel like the time it's a burpee workout basically. Like obviously that's where it's kind of made up. So you have to be fast in the burpees. But like I think it's almost like the clean jerks into the burpees are kind of the make or break kind of situation. But again, both are really kind of hard. It is a hard workout. So I think you just got to suck it up.
Yeah. And then like, what about heavy Isabel? I think I've seen you do that before in training.
I've done it twice. I've done it twice. One time was like middle of last year. It was just decided to do it. Bit of fun. And I squatted all those and then powered it, and then just was like, it might come up, so we might as well just give it a go, you know. So we did it and only gained. I basically like tried to power all of them, but only saved about 20 seconds. So I was like,
it's there though.
But yeah, it's I would really like to do it faster, and I don't think powering for me is going to be the way to go throughout the whole thing. I think when I did it last time with all the powers, I found that I was resting too much to make sure that I can power it. And I just think at this point, you just can't afford to kind of wait, you know.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
I'm just gonna have to once I haven't got that power anymore, just drop underneath it, you know. So
yeah. So what we're doing tomorrow then? So I assume you're gonna do 2 tomorrow, 2 Saturday, and 1 Sunday.
2 tomorrow. Yes, that is the plan. I think based on what's available and at the gyms that we're going to, and what we would like to do, I think we're doing heavy Isabel first. I think everyone's going to do heavy Isabel first, and then we're going to do workout 1, which is the back squats and ring muscle ups. Then Saturday is going to be the shuttle run 1 first, and then the GHD overhead walking lunge, and then the final one is the 30-minute AMRAP. Best till last.
Yeah, that's some workout that. And then are we factoring in Sunday, like we do that, and then any redos that we want to do?
Yeah, like redos will be there. Like I think there's only 2 that you could really do, and that is either heavy Isabel or the shuttle run 1. But either still, like these workouts are almost designed not to repeat. You know what I mean? Like they're so taxing and so on like certain things that it's you just can't fuck it up. So if you do just think that you're fucking it up, you're just gonna have to stop. You'll be like, right, stop, go again, cut the camera. That's almost let's say. So it's cool. It's good that it's like that. You know what I mean? It's good that we don't have like. It just makes it almost like it is a live competition. It's just that the order is different. I wish they kind of said this order is due then, and then, because it just makes it. I just think it makes it, everyone's in the same boat then.
Yeah, but I guess
with
a closed. Yeah, but with a closed leaderboard, I guess you have no idea anyway, so it don't really matter, does it?
Exactly. So I would have kind of liked it if it was like quarters where part of it was released, closed again, part of it was released, closed again, part of it released. But that's just for my sanity.
Yeah, I think maybe again it's another learning from CrossFit. I think like when they have tried to do things overcomplicate in the past, it's gone arse up. So maybe they just thought really simple. Here's your workouts. Here's your window. Do them as you see fit. Close the leaderboard.
Yeah,
They're done then, aren't they?
yeah, exactly.
So, what would you say then is the overall objective from this in-person in affiliate semi-final experience for you?
It's honestly, it's just to do the best that I can. I think I'd love to be as close as I can get to qualifying. Um, like it'd be really cool to definitely do some workouts where I can do some damage against people. I think definitely from Waterpaloozа, I've definitely put a lot of focus into certain elements that I suffered at there. So I'm starting to feel a lot more confident in those things that I struggled on. But yeah, I think it's overall just just give it my all and just see where it plays out.
Charlie's got faith though, mate.
Charlie's got faith.
So when you talk about the weaknesses that you've been working on after Waterpalooza, what were those specifically? What did Waterpalooza show you that you didn't already know?
I think a lot of it was one of them was quite specific, and it's kind of not to do with training. It is training, but it is to do with training, and that is it was to do with kind of the mental game and kind of backing myself going into a workout. Like for example, the first workout of Waterpalooza was the assault bike run, box step over, and I got on that bike and I was like, yeah, we'll do about 73 RPM. No one's going to go faster than that, and no one's going faster than that. And I get there and, I'm at 35 calories and, Harry's off already.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I've not done this. I've not paced this well. And but I wasn't comfortable to even push that kind of pace on that bike for 50 calories, especially not going into a beach run as well. So that's like really kind of really like it scared me, basically. It scared me. So I've done a lot of work on the assault bike recently, just to get comfortable on, or should I say Echo? Well, I mean, I don't have an Echo by me, but I've been using the assault bike, and I've just been doing just like once or twice a week. Just been.
Is it a lot of condition? Is it conditioning that you'd say then? Was it that overall?
I think overall, yeah, like conditioning. It's weird though because it's not my high heart rate type of stuff.
Who's making you laugh? Who's being a pain in your ass? Is it
Kate? I've got it. Yes, I've got a group chat going on that I've had to put do not disturb on because I'm reading it as I'm going. it's really off-putting. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of it's sustaining a high heart rate is my issue. It's not moderate intensity. It's not easy intensity. It's my my kind of VO2 max testing has kind of proven that it's zone 4/5 training is my struggle in what I need to deal with. As soon as I get to my kind of thresholds, I really just drop off. So that's been one thing I've definitely been working on, and it's been really insightful because we kind of thought I was the opposite, and it was just weird. I was the opposite
So
for it.
have you been
But
putting
yeah,
checkpoints in with Max on that then? Has that been like one of the things you're doing more regularly, checking how that VO2 max is and that sort of stuff?
yeah, like we're like they suggest that you test it every 12 weeks or something like that, but I don't want to test it that soon. I was going to do it like in a half a year's time or something like that, 6 months down the line. Um, but we've just kind of been like, we're seeing improvements in it already, physically, but also mentally. Um, kind of that kind of high heart rate type stuff really does scare me, especially yeah, it does scare me. So we've had to do a lot more of it. Um, so that's one thing, definitely. I also just think like another thing I learned from Wodapalooza was just like backing myself. I know that I'm fit enough. That I mean, we had luckily one Metcon that actually went well that weekend, which was the drag rope heavy double under handstand push-up one. That went great, and so I got a no rep on the handstand walk because I walked to the wrong line. Which was, oh, dude, like, I'm sorry, but who does a yellow and a lime green line as your two different like markers? I got so confused. And then like my judge was going, she's like, "Oh, I was trying to shout at you." It's like, I can't hear you. Like, I'm upside down, or I've got blood in my like rushing to my head, and it's so loud, you know. And all I'm trying to think about is, don't drop, don't fall, don't fall. And anyway, yeah, she was like, "No rep," and I look around, being like, "Someone save me." Someone saying, "Nah, you're all cool, bro. You can carry on." But no, but unfortunately, I would have, I could have finished that workout. But it was cool though. That was a top 10 finish, which
You know, when
was
you're at events like
amazing.
Wodapalooza, do you think that, you know, when you talk about like that feeling you get when you are there, you know, because you're such a massive fan of the sport, do you think like sometimes when you get to
Oh
those
yeah,
occasions, you're like at Wodapalooza, there's these athletes that you look up to. Do you think that in the moment makes you feel a bit like that, like freeze a little?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I as soon as like even Max said it, he was like going into a few days going in, I was really confident, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be great. Like I'm really excited to just be out there, push it, give it my all. Done like I've tested either intervals of the workouts, or I've tested the workouts. I'm happy with what I've done. And then as soon as like we started warming up, I see like them all warming up, I just froze. And then like they'd be like, "Can I use the machine?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, go on it," when I need to warm up myself. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a suck. I just fucking lost it. But it was fine.
So
It's weird because I was kind of used to the European field now, but I'm not used to the American. So seeing these guys now, I was like, I need to get used to them. So I just need to stop being a little bitch about it all, really. So,
and with this being in your affiliate, like you can put a dent in all their guys' runs without even seeing them. So you've got that opportunity now without the pressure, haven't you, in a way?
exactly.
Yeah.
Just yeah, that's the thing.
Right, mate. So before we go, like, I just wondered if, you know, when you see like AOD with subject to that qualification being verified, which, you know, looks pretty good at the moment in ninth, and then Lucy fucking smashing Wadland and qualifying. Like, the UK is fucking doing bits right now. So does
It
that
is
give you a
doing
bit
really
of
well.
added fire and inspiration?
It definitely gives me like for sure. It really does. And I like it's cool to see that like we're getting better, you know. And I want to be one of those people that's getting there as well, and not kind of falling behind, but like one I don't want to be falling behind. You know, I want to be there as well. I don't want to have like a couple of years where I'm like, oh, I'm at semi-final level and I've almost made it. I'm just like a regional athlete. I don't want to be that, like someone who could make it but can't, or like you just go, nah, he won't make it. I kind of want to be like, I want to be that person that does make it and is one of those people that, like for the UK especially, goes to the games but keeps going.
Yeah,
Because we kind of like, not since, I mean, on the male side at least, like Steve Fawcett, I think he's been like the only guy that's kind of consecutively gone back. I mean, Dave Shonky qualified twice. But yeah, you know, I might be missing some people. But
yeah, but no one, like you say though, and even if you are, they might have gone once or they might have qualified once, but that's not what you're looking for here, is it? You're talking about a sustained run where people, like, you know, people find it strange when you're not there. Really, that's what you want, isn't it?
Exactly. Just kind of want to make a career from it, you know. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll jump on tomorrow. We'll catch up on how.
Totally, bro. Hopefully, it's gone well. You know. You know, that's the thing. Got hopefully. Yeah, I'm sure it'll go great. I love you too, Charlie.
Right, mate. So, well, thanks for joining us. We'll jump on tomorrow, like I said, 7 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll see how the day's gone. But cheers, mate.
Let's go. Take care.